Today on r/IDontWorkHereLady. Angry Finnish speaker. For context, I am a Finnish resident but native English speaker. I was getting a boat to Estonia for work reasons, had slept terribly upon aforesaid boat, and was nomming a subpar ham and cheese sandwich. I wearing jeans and a Pratchett tee, so in no way a boat uniform. This angry-looking Finnish speaker came up to me and demanded, "Where is the exit?" in Finnish. I understood her and could have responded in Finnish. But you get back the energy you give, so I looked at her, shrugged, and said don't know. Could have responded in Finnish, but again, why be nice when she wasn't? She glared at me and stormed off to find somebody else to harass. As it turns out, the exit was roughly 3 feet away, but I hasn't noticed it. Poor sleep and bad back pain will do that. For our next story. Guilty of my first offense of assuming someone did work there. Was at an unfamiliar suburban English train station earlier today, looking to buy tickets that allowed us to break our journey for lunch, and then complete the rest of the journey. Signs indicated there was a ticket office, but we failed to locate one. Went to ticket machine and an international group leader joined the queue behind me. She was asking an official-looking employee with a lanyard, formal polo shirt for advice about getting tickets for her group. The employee said they would help her after I was done with the machine. So I asked them about my situation, and they thought they had a solution, but it didn't work. So I thanked them and told them I'd buy 2 singles instead and not worry about it. It was only as I waited on the platform that I realized the employee was actually the host of the international group. So embarrassed. Let's dive into our next story. Restaurant customer flags down a non-employee to take their order. He takes their money and leaves. I originally submitted this to r/tales from your server, but I was told it definitely belongs here as well. Not me, but happened to my friend this past weekend. I am still absolutely flabbergasted at the balls on this guy. My friend is the GM at a very busy barcade in our city. This part is important because of the nature of the business. People don't get traditional table service like you would at a regular sit-down restaurant. People are constantly moving around to play games, and when they need food will generally go to the bar, order, get a number, and a server will find them at the mess Pac-Man or whatever and drop it off. Woman comes up to my friend and says she ordered food a long time ago and nothing has come out yet. Friend looks at the computer, sees no pending food orders, asks around to all the bartenders and servers who said they hadn't taken any orders from this woman. She rings in the woman's food, but is now obsessed about getting to the bottom of it. She asks the woman what the guy was wearing and did he have a bar apron on. She says no, and my friend informs her that the only FOH people not in aprons are herself and the door guy. Door guy didn't not take this food order. She goes back to the office to review the cameras to see if she can figure out what happened. And guess what? This woman flagged down a guy she thought was an employee, asked if he could take their order, and the guy said, "Sure." He then proceeds to quote them a random amount of money, takes their cash, and leaves. That is some serious catch me if you can crap. Friend was honestly more impressed than mad. On to the next story. Actual employee had to yell at customer bothering me for help while I'm shopping. Just doing some shopping at Champs when I get a tap on my shoulder. Man asked me for help getting a jacket from a higher up rack. Me. "Oh, sorry man, I don't work here." Other customer. "I know, you're just taller than me, so can you help?" I am 5'9" on my tiptoes, and this dude is 5'7". Okay? As I proceed to reach for this jacket like a kid reaching for snacks on the top shelf. I get the jacket, hand it to him, and walk away before he says anything. 2 minutes later he says I got the wrong size. An employee overheard this and started asking him nicely what he was doing. He explained, and the look on this employee face was perplexed. "Sir, he told you he doesn't work here. He is 2 inches taller than you. Why would you ever think you should ask a random person to help you shop?" Other customer stayed silent while she went and got the hook that can get clothes from high up. The stick that was in the back behind a door that said employees only. I got rung up after this, and they scanned a coupon they had that I didn't to give me some money off as a thank you for my inconvenience. Yeah, I don't work here, but I got asked for help on the top shelf like the jolly green giant at 5'9". For our next story. Yes, you with the child and leftovers, you obviously work here. I, 22 female, took my little brother, 15 male, to the mall a few months ago. We were shopping for Christmas gifts for our grandparents. We were in the JCPenney jacket area, and I'm handing him a couple things to hold up so I can take a photo of one of the sweatshirts. This big guy comes up to me, getting in front of my little brother, and says, "Where is the shoe section?" I'm in a Horror Nights hoodie and a graphic t-shirt with a kid. "Yes sir, I obviously work here." I told him I don't know, I don't work here. He gets all huffy and says, "You people all work here, you just don't want to help," and he storms off. I was laughing so hard after he left. I should also note that both my brother and I had very obvious Cheesecake Factory to-go cups, so like dude really just stopped the first brown person he saw. Let's dive into our next story. I can't be on a break if I don't work here. I had a pickup order at my local orange home improvement store. I was wearing jeans, a black cami tank top and a black leather backpack I sometimes use as a purse. Please keep this in mind. I finally got called to one of the cashiers who was obviously still in training, trying hard but needed to call the manager a few times. In addition, there was a bit of a delay retrieving my order. I made some idle chat with the cashier as I waited for my order to be complete. An older gentleman came up from behind me without being called from the line. He interrupted us quite rudely by asking the cashier if she was on break. Confusedly glancing over at me, she timidly replied, "No, dao day." He then turned to me and asked if I was on break. Realizing he thought he was busting a couple of employees slacking, I was very happy to tell him that no, I didn't work there and was a customer just like himself. He shot me another dirty look and returned to the line without saying another word. On to the next story. I am suddenly wedding photographer. I will speak in the present, but story is few years old. I was a kid from Serbia who lives in the brutalist part of Belgrade. Occasionally, I take some pictures and post them on my Instagram page. I'm not here to promote myself. I literally do this with my phone and I have a small number of followers. One day, I received a message from a woman, and here's how it went. CB, hello, I've seen your photos. Would you like to be our photographer at the wedding? We can offer you a lot of promotion. Me. Respectfully, I'm just a kid who takes pictures of brutalist buildings with my phone. Honestly, I don't think I'm your best choice. CB, you know how to take and edit photos. Come and capture our wedding. Me. I don't really enjoy photographing people. Buildings are much calmer. Trying to make a joke. CB, don't be a female reproductive organ, and come to the wedding tomorrow. Me? Are you serious? I'm not even in town. CB, what kind of professional photographer are you? Me. My profile description literally says I take photos for fun. CB, I'll tell everyone not to hire you. Me. That's like telling a baker not to be hired as a plumber. After that, she blocked me. For our next story. I don't work here, but got an employee discount. Was in a large electronics retailer long ago looking for something cutting edge, like CDs or DVDs, and was wearing clothes similar to their uniform, khakis and a blue t-shirt. And a little old lady asked me if I knew where the was. Don't remember. I realized she thought I worked there and I knew where it was, so I walked her over and asked, "Is this what you were looking for?" It was. She thanked me and I continued shopping. One of the managers saw the exchange and came over and thanked me and said I didn't need to help, but appreciated me being nice. I picked out a couple things, got in line to check out, and the manager, seeing me checking out, came over and told the salesperson to give me an employee discount. He looked at me and said, "I figured you earned that." Being a mostly broke college kid at that point, I really appreciated the couple bucks he saved me. Our last story for today. How I don't work here lady almost turned scary for an off-duty police officer. This story came from my friend's husband, Adam. And yes, this is Belle's husband. Belle's my retired Army officer friend. Adam worked as a police officer from the late 90s to early 2010 until being injured in the line of duty. One December evening, Adam was finishing up his shift when Belle, who he was dating at the time, called him, asking if he could pick up a couple of last-minute things for a Christmas party. Since the Mart of Walls is about a mile away from the station, Adam decides to go there. He's wearing a thick dark blue coat over his uniform, complete with vest, belt and gear, including his sidearm, radio, handcuffs and baton. He's in the dairy section getting some cream when he heard a woman say in a low voice, "Excuse me?" Adam turns to look. There's a young woman, maybe college age, dressed in jeans, a thick coat and heavily pregnant. Definitely not the Karen type. "Can you please help me get a TV from the back?" Adam is about to use the classic "I don't work here" lady line when he sees the fear in her eyes. Now on high alert, he leans close to her and whispers what happened. "I'm scared of my husband. He just shot the officer who pulled us over." Adam looks up and sees this strung-out looking man who looks like he hasn't showered in days and watching them with, as Adam recounted, shark eyes. Thinking fast, Adam says loud enough for the man to hear. "I'm more than happy to help you, ma'am. Let me page the back and we'll get it in a minute. Hang tight." Using his cell phone, which wasn't as common as it is now, he texted a fellow officer who was still on duty, asking her if an officer got shot. When she confirmed it and asked what was going on, he told her what was going on, to alert the manager and to send a couple of units to the store. She responded to him that the units were on the way, the manager had been alerted and to hang tight. Once he received her text, he said it's on its way to the front. "I'll personally escort you there so the manager knows who it belongs to." So he leads the family to the front and makes eye contact with the manager. The manager, who recognizes Adam from previous excursions, comes over. Adam, keeping up the charade, says to the manager, "Boss, I think it'd be good to get the lady off her feet for a little bit while we get the car loaded." he said with a meaningful look. It's going to take several minutes anyway. The manager nods and says, of course, come with me, ma'am. My office is just this way. Once the lady and the manager were safely away, Adam and the man head out to the parking lot. Just then, Adam spots the officers getting out of their cars and nods at them. The takedown wasn't as dramatic as you'd expect it to be. They recognized him and arrested him as soon as several outstanding warrants for his arrest were revealed. The officer the man had attacked survived his injuries, and the man got a nice long prison sentence for several charges, including attempted murder. The lady filed for divorce and, with Adam and Belle's help, was able to get home to her family. Last Adam heard, she was doing well. When she heard the story, Belle, as she put it to me, knew I met the man I was going to marry someday. And those are all the stories we have for today. See you tomorrow.